to have a chat about hypothermia, boys. What is hypothermia, George?
When you get cold.
When you get cold, that's right. So when your body temperature gets cold, eh? So do we know how we normally get hypothermia, Tommy?
When it's raining and you're wet and the wind starts to blow.
Yeah, so especially when we're out bike riding, eh? If we get wet and then it gets really windy, that's when it gets really cold. So we've got to be very careful, don't we? Cool. So how do we prevent hypothermia? What might we wear to stop ourselves getting hypothermia, George?
Warm stuff.
Warm stuff, yeah. Cool. So maybe a jacket would be good. Gloves, Tommy. You've got your helmet on. Perfect. Yep. Maybe some polyprops as well. Thermals. That'd be a good thing. Cool. Okay, so if we get concerned that somebody's getting hypothermia, so they're getting cold, how do we know that they might be getting hypothermia, Tommy?
If they start mumbling.
If they start mumbling, yeah. So their speech becomes a bit confused and things. Yeah, good. Have you heard of the umbles? No. Okay, so this is a really good way to remember the signs and symptoms of hypothermia. So the umbles. So mumbles, like you said, Tommy. Stumbles. So what would that be, George?
Falling over.
Yeah, people are starting to fall over and their coordination's not that great. And then, what did you just say? Grumbles. Grumbles, yeah. So they're starting to get grumpy. Grumpier than they might normally be. Cool. So we now know that hypothermia is when you get wet, cold, maybe if it's a bit windy. We know how to prevent it by nice warm clothes. And now we should talk about what we do if somebody is getting hypothermia, okay? So we're out there, we're riding. What equipment do we carry in case somebody gets hypothermia, Tom?
An emergency thermal blanket.
Good, emergency thermal blanket. So most people would have seen those before. Good, and we've got a sneaky way of using those to ensure that people get nice and warm or warmed up nice and quick, which I'm going to show you real soon. So we're going to use a technique called the hypothermic sandwich. So that's when we've got a nice warm layer, the emergency blanket, and then a nice warm layer again. But the key is getting your wet clothes off and getting dry clothes on, and also putting something on your head. Yeah. So show us your nice warm hat. Put it on your head, and that stops your temperature going out through your head, just like a chimney. Okay, so that warms things back up because you can lose 40% of your temperature out through your head. Crazy, eh? Should we do it? Righto. Okay, so what we've got is we've got a nice warm layer, we've got the environmental blanket, and then another nice warm layer called the hypothermic sandwich. We've got Georgie, come over here. We've got his wet clothes off, we've got nice dry clothes on, and we've got a nice warm beanie on. Okay, Georgie, so lie down here, mate, just with your head up this way. That's the one. So now we're just going to wrap them up, just like a snug as a bug in the rug. And then come closer, Pete.
These blankets smell.
Come closer, Tom.
These blankets smell.
There we go.
Looks like an Eskimo.
Okay, so this time we're going to look at lacerations and bleeding. So let's think that this is a real bad bleed in Georgie's leg, okay? So, Tommy, what do we got to do when we're looking after somebody's badly bleeded leg?
We've got to clean it out and elevate it.
Cool. And to stop bleeding, what do we do?
We can bandage it up.
Yeah, cool. And we need to put some direct pressure on it, don't we? And Georgie, why do we elevate it, mate?
Because it makes the heart harder to pump the blood up.
Yeah, good one. So therefore it slows it down, doesn't it?
Yep.
Poor George has gone unconscious because of his serious bleed. All right, Tommy, so before we deal with George's badly bleeding leg, what must we do for you?
Put some gloves or something over your hands.
Yeah, good one. So to protect you, eh? Yeah. Good one, because you don't want his badly bleeding blood all over you. All right, so let's, what equipment have we got there, mate? And show me what you're going to do.
We've got some clean water.
Good.
And then we've got a cloth.
Yep.
And we're going to put some of the water onto here and then apply pressure onto it.
Great, let's do that. Nice one. So it goes directly over it. Good one. Perfect. Nice.
Then once you've done this, we get a bandage.
Yep.
Get you to elevate your leg like that.
Good.
And then bandage it all around.
And you would do that nice and firm, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So it keeps it in place. Good one, mate. It's good that your man's able to help. And then maybe if you're out in the bush or something, you could get leaves. You could get something to help prop his leg up to help it stop bleeding. But because we're in a nice warm environment, maybe you can use the pillow.
And then once you get to the end, grab some tape.
As prepared.
And tape it in place.
Perfect, buddy.
And
Nice one.
done.
Nice one. Well done, boys. Alright, now we're going to talk about how to deal with a bleeding nose. As you can see, I've got a bleeding nose. So Tommy, what do we need to do, mate? It's bleeding real bad.
Like normal bleeding, you apply pressure and pinch the nose while doing it.
Perfect.
So I'll do that.
Good one. So you pinch just below the hard part, eh? And you pinch quite firm. I can feel that. That's quite sore. Maybe not that hard. Thanks. And what's something else you could do to help it slow down bleeding?
Elevate it again.
Not so much elevate it, because that would be hard too.
Tilt your head back.
No, don't tilt my head back. So always tilt it forward, because otherwise the blood's going to go down your throat. That's not so good. You can also put a cold flannel or something on your neck, and that'll slow down the bleeding as well. So good job. I think it's finished now.
You sound weird.
Right. Righto, Tom and George. So how do you tell that somebody might have a broken arm or leg or bone?
You can't wiggle it.
Yeah, might not be able to wiggle it. What might it be feeling like, George?
Sore.
Really sore. Yeah, that's right. He might not be able to wriggle it, like you say, Tommy, and he might not be able to move it. That might be a sign that something's broken. And the other thing, that it might not look quite right, eh? Might look a bit crooked. Yep.
Like Grandma's walking stick.
Grandma's walking stick, yep. And the only way to really be able to work that one out is by taking off the other gumboot and comparing one foot to the other, okay? Okay, so one of the things that we carry when we go out riding for school is the sand splint. Okay, so Tommy's just going to demonstrate how we're going to pop that on George's sore leg. So it just goes around there. And what's the advantage of these, Tommy?
It molds to the person's foot.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter if it's an adult or a child, if it's Mr. Murray or George, it'll work just the same. Georgie's just helping there, which is really good. Tommy's going to pop that roller bandage on nice and firm. Good. Okay, so Tommy's now wrapped up Georgie's leg, which is really good. And now we need to make a plan to get him to the nearest road to meet the ambulance. How's that sound? So when we go bike riding, one of the common injuries is shoulder injuries or a broken collarbone. Okay, so a really good piece of equipment to carry is a sling. So let's pretend that Georgie's broken his collarbone, or it's really, really sore, or his shoulder, or his arm, and we can pop his arm in a sling. Okay, so just going to do that there. Protect you there, Georgie. How's that feeling, George?
Really good.
There we go. Nice and firm and secure. Good. One of the injuries that can sometimes happen when you're out bike riding is you might fall off and hit your jaw. So one of the things that we like to test whether you've got a broken jaw is called the marshmallow test. Can't speak because he's got a sore jaw. Okay, so what we do is basically a trick for young people. See if they can chew on a lolly. And if they can chew on a marshmallow, chances are probably haven't broken their jaw. How's that going, George?
Good.
Alright. One of the other important things that we've got to learn when we're doing first aid is, what, Tommy?
What to do when someone gets injured.
Yep, and who we might.
Cool,
good job. So how might we do that?
by calling 111.
Yeah, 111 if we need the ambulance, that's right.
Or your parents.
Or your parent, Georgie, that's right. So most young people might not have phones at primary schools, but they might borrow the phone from their parent so they can either call the other parent or they can call 111 themselves. Georgie, if somebody gets hurt or has a crash and you're not sure if you need the ambulance, who might we call, mate? Parents first, yeah, just in case, because a parent most likely can fix the situation first, eh? Good. And what have we got to work out before we call for help, boys? Where we are, that's right. And what's another helpful thing to learn from maybe your parent before you borrow their phone, Tommy? What the password is and how to what, George?
Use it.
How to use it, that's right. Good job. Righto, so in this section we're covering bleeding. Uh-oh, George has got a bleeding leg. Kindly sponsored by Waddies. Alright, boys. So what we're here now is we've come out into the field. George has fallen off his bike. First aid Tommy is to the rescue, don't you worry. So we're suspecting that George has got a sore leg because he can't move it. Alright, so another important part of first aid is